Rony,
Jaden.
welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So, guys, welcome to another episode of the Boys and Men podcast. Today, we are joined by Rony. I don't know what your last name is. I don't know if you want to disclose that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Okay, never mind.
Ronnie's cool.
All right, roll the intro. All right, guys, welcome back. And if you're new, please subscribe, leave a rating, and subscribe to the Ko-Fi page if you haven't already. Got some spicy stuff on there, so if you guys want to check that out, check the link in the description of the show. But what's up, man? How you doing?
Just living life, man. How about you?
I am also living life and working my ass off like I should be.
Yeah, of course we are.
Yeah, adjust that mic real quick. Yeah, man. So you got some knowledge for the listeners today?
Yeah, I mean, wanted to talk about fitness and finance. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so let's start off with let's get your story real quick. So like where you're from.
All right. My name is Rony. Was born in Florida, but I lived in Boston for my whole teenage life. December 2020, I decided to join the Air Force. Went through basic, went through tech school, and I got placed at Hill Air Force Base in Utah. Since then, I've just been here, living life. At first, I didn't like it, but it's real cool. So,
Why didn't you like it?
Well, to be honest, when I was in Texas and I learned I was going to Utah, I never even thought of Utah in my life before I came here.
I feel like everybody who's moved here has felt the same exact
yeah,
way. Because it's like you it's like, yo, because when I moved here, my dad was like, we're going to Utah. I'm like, bro, what the fuck is Utah?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know it existed.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I really thought it was Amish land but except with Mormons, just a bunch of land and Mormons. So I really didn't know what I was expecting. And for the first couple months, I didn't really like it. But I thought it, after I found out people like you guys and Shannon and stuff like that, and I like that it's a good balance where we live at to urban and rural lifestyle, because I like to hike and camp and stuff like that. Yeah. So I thought that was super cool. But yeah, Utah's pretty cool. It's all right, man.
So graduating from high school, did you immediately decide to go to the Air Force, or did you take a break?
So I was actually supposed to play rugby up at Boston College, but because of COVID, I graduated like I said, 2020. Mm-hmm. COVID, it's not a NCAA sport; it's MIAA, which was like a Massachusetts branch of the NCAA. They couldn't figure out when all the teams were going to be able to come at the same time, because it's pretty much a club sport, but we were still able to get scholarships for it. So I had my scholarship cut out for rugby, so I only had my financial aid and my education scholarship, and that wasn't enough. So I had to make a decision, was I gonna take out damn near $30,000 a year to go to school, or was I gonna go to community college or find another route? And I was just thinking, if I go to the military, do my little 4 years, get my degree in whatever I want to, and I could still be making money at the same time, I was like, that sounds like a better idea than taking out $120,000 in loans,
Yeah. So did you contact a recruiter? Or
yeah.
Did they contact you?
And when I was in my junior year, I took there used to be this thing where you could just take the ASVAB during school, and it was you just got to skip a couple periods doing it, and I was always down to skip a couple classes, so I was like, fuck it, let me take that test, and I took it, and I got a 91. And my score stayed. It's valid for I think a year or two. So I was I just contacted the recruiter. I was like, yeah, I already have my ASVAB done, whatever. What can I do? What can I work with these scores? And he gave me a list of all the jobs I was eligible for. He had me go through MEPS, which is the medical process, making sure you're healthy, you don't have any drugs in your system, all that stuff. And then I sat on it for 2-3 months still. I was I don't know, I could just go to community college or some shit, because I really wasn't feeling the idea of the military at first. I've never in my life have I ever thought I would join the military, ever. So I was really thinking about it for a while, but then I was I think this will be good for me. I'm a young man, I need discipline in my life, because I was a little bit of a wild kid. I just was a hothead, and I wasn't really paying attention to the things that really mattered in life. I used to smoke hella, just not really focusing on my goals. And I felt like this could help me this would align with what I wanted to do in my life, which was like be successful, make a lot of money, stuff like that. So yeah.
Which is like one of the reasons my dad joined. And going into like my senior year, I was also like, I felt that pressure. I was like, does my dad want me to go to the military? And I talked to him about it. He was like, you don't have to go, because like I went, so you don't have to go. I'm giving you the resources to go to college, even though the GI Bill, he used it on himself.
Exactly.
But so he was like, yeah, I'm gonna give you the resources to go to college. Do your own thing, so you don't have to go to the Air Force.
Right.
So I feel like in your situation, it's like the best move for your kids if you ever
Right.
had them.
And exactly.
So they don't have to.
And my dad was a Navy man, so like he told me straight up pretty much the same thing as you. Like, you don't have to go if you don't want to. He said it's something you should do if you 100% know you're going to do it and stick with it, because joining and then not wanting to be there is one of the worst things you can do, because he knew hella sailors who just like didn't want to be there, just depressed all the time because it's like some shit they didn't really want to do for real. So that's why I sat on it for so long, because I'm like, I'm not about to do some shit half-assed, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I love my job too. Like I'm a contracting specialist. Like I get to work from home. I work with civilians mostly, and my military personnel is really cool. Like I got really lucky. I'm blessed to say like I'm in the position I am right now, because not only do I make a solid amount of money, I can support myself and I can support my lifestyle that I want to live currently, even though it's not as much as I want it to be.
Yeah.
But it's
enough.
way more than enough for me to have fun on the weekends, during the weekdays, go on trips, stuff like that. So it's like I'm blessed to be where I'm at.
So it's super flexible.
Yep.
That's good to hear. So when it comes to people joining, I have a guy. His name's Diddy. Did you ever meet Diddy? No. Isaac, yeah, you weren't here because you went on Christmas break while he was here.
Right.
But yeah, so he joined. I think he joined the Navy or the Air Force, either one. So he was kind of at rock bottom, right? He was just like, he got kicked out of his brother's place. His mom was like, "Nah, you can't come back here." He moved to Louisiana. He was like living with his dad. He was just like, he wasn't doing anything. So,
Right.
What do you think? What is your take on people like not having any other choice but to go to the military? Like you're homeless, or you're like financially unstable, like you're about to lose all your money. You have no money. Like, what do you think about that?
This might be a little like controversial, but I always feel like there's a way to get out of any situation you have. There's no such thing as like,
I agree,
you have to do this. Like,
but it is a way out.
It is a way out. It's an option, but I don't think it's like, oh, I'm at rock bottom, I have to join the military. Like, there's so many different ways to make money in 2022. Like, you can make money any type of way, every type of way, online, in person, like any type of job that was before. Now you can do that. I feel like it's really easy to get money. Maybe not a lot of money, but if you're at rock bottom, any type of money is good money. But I think it's definitely a good option. Like, the military is always there. Like, they're gonna take care of you. You won't have to worry about your rent, your food. You're always going to get paid the 1st and the 15th unless there's a government lockdown, which is rare. The economy could be collapsing and you're still going to be getting paid because you're a DOD employee. Like, they're going to get you right regardless. Like, there's no such thing as like, oh, we're going to go bankrupt or you get laid off type shit, unless you're just an awful worker, because they really take anybody in the military when you think about it. Like, you have to be the worst of the worst worker to get kicked out type shit. So it's like, yeah, that's definitely a great option, but I feel like there's so many other options. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Like, even if you're at rock bottom, if you can't see yourself sticking to it, it's pointless, because you're going to be even worse off mentally, because a lot of people kind of forget like that mental health is super important too. Yeah, your financial health, your physical health is really important, but like I would say your mental health is the most important, because nobody can see like mental strain and pain, but like you can see physical. So it's easier to sympathize with somebody who's like financially struggling and you can see it, or like physically injured and you can see it, but it's hard to see when somebody's like depressed or something like that. And that, like, the military can very easily put you in a bad hole and you're just going to keep digging yourself in. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, so that's like one of the reasons I didn't go, because like I was like, I couldn't handle this, bro.
Right.
And especially, what's your contract?
I did 4 years.
4 years.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't think I could be there for 4 years, because I feel I would, like, knowing myself now, I'd feel like I'd just be wasting my time in some way. I'd be like the military is holding me back from doing something I actually want to do.
Right.
So do you feel that way?
So I actually did feel that way for a little bit, but then I realized that everything in my life is in my control, no matter what situation I put myself in or I've been put in. So I felt like I didn't have a lot of time to do the old stuff I used to do. Like, so I'm a producer as well. Excuse me, I make beats. I felt like while I was working or doing basic training, like while I was in basic training, I'm thinking like I won't have time to do like the shit I used to do at home. While I'm in tech school, I'm kind of getting a vibe for how like work and then life, like regular life goes. I'm like, I won't have time to do my shit. So like for the first 6 or 8 months, I wasn't really doing like what I used to do. And I started getting myself into a hole. But I went home for Christmas break, like you were talking about, and I had like a real mental reset. I went back, talked to my friends. They're like, you're doing better than a lot of people our age because you got your own, like you got your own shit going on. You're making money and you're able to go to school for free. Like a lot of people are paying to do that, and they're gonna be paying student debts and stuff like that. So I'm like, let me really make the best out of my situation. Start time management. You know, I'm like using time boxes now. It's like a little paper where you can write down everything you're doing it within everything.
You told me about that at a party. It didn't work for me personally, but then I figured out an alternate. I use a calendar instead of like writing shit down because you can wake up and just look at a board. I'm like, okay, I got to do this and this and this. Because like I can keep shit like when I'm at work, I can keep shit in my head. But then once you go home, it's like it all fades. You're tired and shit. So I just put it on a board.
Right, exactly. So like time management is one of the most like essential things in the military because if you don't have good time management, you feel like your whole life is work when it really doesn't have to be that way. You just have to structure your life, unfortunately, around work for the time you're there because you signed a contract like this is your job. This comes before anything. But there's still a lot of time in the day or just during the year where you can still do your own shit. So yeah, for a little bit, I felt like I don't have time to do me. But then I realized if I do better with my time management, then I can do me. And that's how it went for me.
Yeah. So moving on from that, so what else you want to talk about? Health, like physical? Yeah, physical health?
So like I said, I was playing rugby in high school. I also was doing a crew, which is like rowing. So I was in really good physical shape during high school.
Are those like the only cool, like there's a different sports down there, like in the
East?
Yeah, the East. Because you don't really see that type of shit up here.
Yeah, so rowing is a really like niche, like I would say it's like a snobby sport. Like I was the only black person on my team for the whole 4 years I was doing it. So it's like you're not gonna, I didn't see a lot of people like me, but I think that also helped me a lot because I was always surrounded by people like me. It's good to get out of your comfort zone and like evolve and see how other people live life and just other thinking processes and stuff like that. So yeah, I was doing crew and I was doing rugby. So I was in really good physical shape for pretty much all of high school, but I was never really like lifting like that. Like I would lift for rugby obviously, but like it was like not to the extent I do now. So when I went through basic, I started taking like my physical health super seriously. Like I was doing like 500 push-ups a day, 500 sit-ups. I'm running like 2 miles. And this is just like what I'm doing, not even counting the regular PT that you do in basic training. Because I'm not going to lie, the PT and BMT for the Air Force is pretty weak. Like it's
easy.
Yeah, it's not hard at all. Like I would say Air Force BMT was like really not that hard at all. It's like when you look back at it, you realize it's not hard. But when you're there, it's really the mental strain that gets to you. But everything else is pretty easy. Like I'm not going to lie. It was kind of a cakewalk.
So through basic, how harsh was your the sergeant? Like, is it how it is in the movies?
No. I might have gotten lucky, and I think I did. Both of my MTIs were amazing. Like they were so cool. They knew when they could see like somebody was about to break, you know, and they weren't gonna like force it on you and push it on you. They were gonna push you to your limit, but not to the point where you're gonna break down. Yeah. And I really appreciate that from them because they really knew how to read the room. Like they held it down really well. Like I think I had the best MTIs in my whole squadron for sure.
Cool. So shit, lost my train of thought.
That's good. That's good.
Yeah, so moving on from that, how is life in the military in Utah? How is it for you? So you go to work throughout the week, you party on the weekends, you do whatever on the weekends. So what do you do in your spare time besides the everyday stuff to like, because you do make beats, right?
Yeah.
Like this guy's the producer on the intro, so
yeah,
follow him, bro. Follow his homies too.
Made that intro. It's
that's actually hard as fuck. But anyways, yeah. So
just my everyday life. I I go to work, I get off work, I go to the gym, I come back, make my food, whatever, and then I pick out what I'm going to do for that day. So it's either going to be making a beat or making beats, reading, or I like to play video games too. I do that a lot too. And right now I've been also venturing into a business idea that I've had for a little bit. It's kind of like affiliate marketing, but it's like you would be the one managing the people who make videos for advertisements for companies.
So kind of like how we are. So you're just producing.
No, so it would be like, let's say you're a company. I'm like, yo, Jaden, I have 6 people that can make 4 advertisements a week for a month for your business. And they can be in any like 6x9, 1080p, any crop style you want, any streaming service or video service you want it to be on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We can put those all on there. All I'm charging is $2,000 a month.
So you do that, or are you the middleman that connects?
You would be the middleman that connects the influencers and the people who make the videos to the company, and you get them the product or whatever. Let's say it's a blender. And you get a bunch of different looking people. So like you'd get a black person, an Asian person, a white person, a skinny person, a bigger person. You'd get a bunch of people from different demographics because more people are more inclined to buy something from somebody they see who looks like them. Yeah. Like any advertisement I see, it's like what I see a nigga doing, this type shit, Yeah. So that's the idea. I'm just working out a couple kinks with like cold emailing, where it's like you just email thousands of companies the same shit. Mm-hmm.
So you just like make like email templates, stuff
yeah,
like that. Yeah,
and I'm also taking a course right now on how to actually produce those videos, like what to tell your creators to make it like, because there's this lady who started off with just a TikTok account trying to do stuff like that, and she realized it was way more lucrative to have other people do it, and then she sells the videos. So she has this really dope Twitter page where I bought her course, and I've been watching it, and I can't wait to start that because that'll be a perfect passive income for me.
So when you learn that skill, don't you have to learn other skills like let's say like Adobe, for example? You have to learn Photoshop, Premiere, and a bunch of other programs to get this going, or do you just get somebody else to do it for you?
So yeah, you actually outsource the work in every sense. Like you're just the one who makes the money. Like I forget what the website name is. I'm blanking on it, but you could literally hire somebody from
Fiverr.
Maybe
because Fiverr is like one of the other ones. I mainly use Fiverr. I use Fiverr for the podcast cover, and there's like little shit you can buy that people will like. Okay, like yeah, I'll create a thumbnail for you, but there's actually like big contractors, people like you pay like thousands of dollars just to get like things done, like big shit done.
Right, like. So, what's it called? You pay like a dude from like Bangladesh like $50 to edit these 10 videos for you, and then they come back, and that's really how the whole thing works.
Yeah, so you just go on those sites and just do that. Yeah, that's actually a good idea.
Yeah,
that's
like the only work you really do in this business I'm trying to start is getting in contact and like closing the deal out with the companies. And like my friend Caleb's brother like has been thinking about doing this because one of his friends was doing it. And you like that number I said where you charge them is like not out of the blue. Like that's easily what you charge these companies, like $2,000, $3,000 each. And he says you can have 5-6 companies all under contract with you at the same time. 3 times 12, what is that? 36. You can be making like $36,000 a month, and easily too. Like those numbers are not out of the blue. Like it's crazy, bro. That's what I'm trying to get into.
Could you make this automatic too? Let's say you have a website, right, where people who want these videos can go on, right, and they like choose packages, all this stuff, and so you don't have to even contact these people, right? So they just come straight to you, and then you have, you already had like assets that can like are ready to go like that, and as soon as the buyer buys a package, it goes straight to the assets, and then they just do that and send it to the buyer.
Yeah, I guess you could fully automate it
because I've seen it before, and not in that specific sense, but when it comes to like anything creative, like online. Like, let's say, do you know this, it's like TikTok page called Creator Set? They have like these little green screen videos.
I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So on there, so they have all these free green screen videos, right? But they also have like packages you can buy for like your Twitch, like the little pop-ups.
Right. Like your UI and stuff like that.
So as soon as somebody buys that, right, it goes straight to I don't know if it's their own workers, but it goes to somebody and they just like copy and paste and then send it.
Yeah.
Like simple as
yeah,
that.
that's actually pretty smart.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too good at like web developing, but again, that's something you could just outsource
Yeah,
the work
like
to.
you don't have to have the skills. You
Yeah.
can just pay somebody to do it, but
Exactly.
you also have to make sure you're getting a good cut to keep the
Right.
business going.
Yeah, that's actually a good idea. I'm definitely gonna look into that now.
If you want to talk about business, bro, I got you. Like,
Nah, yeah, for sure. After
Yeah.
the podcast, we could definitely talk about that
Yeah.
because I'm pretty serious about that.
because what me and Miguel have been trying to do is network.
Right.
Miguel hasn't been like he's just been all over the place, but I've been like kind of waiting until I'm in the right spot to do so because this platform is kind of new.
Right.
Like I'm getting it. I got a meeting with the marketing guy at the end of this month. I'm finna talk to him like all these plans and ideas I have, and I'm just trying to get to a good spot like to move on to the next thing.
Right.
Because you don't want to just keep going forward. Like everything takes time. And I feel like that's like the main thing too. You need to have patience when it comes to building a business, any business. Like with this, I don't care how many fucking views I get, but as long as I'm staying consistent, I know it's gonna pay off soon. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Yeah.
So
Like
with any business,
it's
that's
a
how it
lot
is.
more gratifying when something takes like time to build and you see it blow up. Like I don't know if you've seen that Andrew Tate clip where he was talking about.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. Top G.
Top G, bro.
Top G.
I was gonna say it. I can't say it anymore. Anyways, go ahead.
Yeah, don't do that. I know exactly what you was about to say. Nah, but he was talking about like when he bought his first Bugatti or whatever, and you go to like a Bugatti dinner, and everybody that was there was already rich. And so they didn't appreciate getting a Bugatti. It's just like, oh, I just got a
Oh yeah,
car.
I saw that.
So it's like the build up for when you're going. He was like, when you're going 100 miles an hour, like
It's not
the
the
whole
same
time,
thing.
it's not the same thing as when you're building up to 100.
When you're accelerating to
Right.
$100 or 100 miles per hour. Yeah.
So like I feel like what you're doing right now, like even if you're getting a little bit of views here, there, you're gonna go back years from now, realize when you was getting like 20 views, 30 views, and now you're getting 1 million of podcasts. You don't even do them every week just to keep it, a little exclusive shit like that.
Yeah.
Like it's better. I feel like it's a grind, and you wish you could just get the
Yeah, you wish you
money
could just be there
fast.
now because like I'm like, damn, bro, like I want that Bugatti.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly,
but
exactly.
it takes time. I don't think like for example, Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, they weren't rich until like their late 20s.
Yeah, like you seen that thing also. It was talking about the KFC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like,
It takes time, dude. So,
everything takes time.
as long as you start now, start today. I've been saying this in all the episodes. Start today. Top G. Anyways, yeah. So when it comes to all this business stuff, right?
Don't procrastinate. Do not procrastinate.
So moving on from business, let's move on to finance, right?
Right.
So finance is a very important thing when it comes to like doing anything, honestly.
Right.
Like say for example, I am doing this podcast, right? I have to budget a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I gotta work a second job to support this show, and that's okay.
Right.
But like I want to get to a point where the show supports me, and I kind of reinvest into it and reinvest in a whole bunch of things, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So when it comes to that, so how much money do you feel like disclosing that do you make, or you want
That
to?
I make a year.
Yeah.
So like right now I make around. I think last time I checked my LES, it was like 58,000 a year, something like that. Yeah.
Working 2 jobs, I make about 48
Yeah.
a year, so it's not too bad. But
Yeah. No, I mean I can't complain. Like,
yeah,
It is what it is, right? Like,
so you love designing, like you were in the
yeah.
Supreme shirt.
I love clothes. I was one of my first loves when I first started high school. 9th grade, I was in middle school. I was a little nerd. Like I just used to play Minecraft and listen to Skrillex, and then like draw comics and shit like that. So
Yeah.
I was like, I gotta step some. I was like, I gotta do something, get the host to notice me, so type shit. Like,
Yeah.
I was just thinking like I wasn't like my initial reasoning for starting to like fashion was really phony. Like I didn't even really care. I was just like, I just want people to like notice me or like bitches to notice me type shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Right?
notice me? Do you notice me?
Like, so I just started getting clothes, but then I realized like I actually really enjoy clothes, like not even just everything everybody else likes. Like I really enjoyed fashion itself, so it built my love, and ever since 9th grade, I've just been spending hella money on clothes.
Yeah, and that hasn't been the best decision, right?
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. Like, I've come to that realization within the last month because, like, I stopped going out and shit like that. I stopped really partying. And I started just thinking about, like, why I was doing everything I do. And, like, I feel like clothes was just like a quick serotonin shot for me. Like, oh yeah, like I just bought this. Like, and you wear it once, then you don't give a fuck anymore. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because like when it comes to buying shit, I talked about this in the first episode. When it comes to buying shit, you get like this huge dopamine rush.
Right.
Like it's not even like it's like really high anticipation, and as soon as you get it, that rush goes down real quick, and then it just sits there. You know what I mean? So I look at things as like if it doesn't have any real investment, like if you actually have a career like buying and reselling clothes, that's one thing. But if you're just buying it just to look good, it's another thing. And there's nothing wrong with spoiling yourself, but you got to think about like the bigger picture, like what you're doing in the situation.
Like, and I think about like how much I spend on clothes and how much I make a year, and it's not sustainable. Like eventually I'm gonna dig myself into a hole I won't be able to dig myself out of without like a second or third job selling some shit. You know, and that's what I don't want to get to that point. So, like, I came to that realization. I started selling a lot of my clothes. I'm about to start selling some of my shoes, too. You can add me on Snapchat if you want to see that.
I actually might buy some of your shoes.
Rony EXE. You feel me? Like, I'm about to start selling hella of my clothes. Like, because I've just been spending my money on some stupid shit. But I'm financially intelligent. Like, I don't mean to toot my own horn by saying that, but I truly believe that because when you are raised with, like, parents who don't come from this country and you like watch them struggle for a little bit until they finally make it, you pick up things that they were doing. Like I seen my mom work 2 jobs and go to school at the same time, come home, sleep for 3 hours, go to the next job, come home, do her schoolwork, go to bed for 4 hours, go to the next job. Seen her do that for like almost 7 years, and now she can do whatever the fuck she wants. And it's like she sets me up mentally to be in a position where it's like, you do not have to do this. She teaches me everything she knows about finance. She teaches me how to budget. She teaches me about credit. It'd be a slap in the face for me to go and just spend all my money on stupid shit, go broke, and then be calling her like, oh, I need some money. Ooh. Like, I just watched you do all that. Like, so I consider myself financially intelligent because I've seen what it's like to be broke. So I know how to not be broke now. And I use that to my advantage,
Yeah. So in my situation with my parents, my dad had me and Shannon at the same time, and me and my mom were kind of alone. Like it was just me and my mom, and my grandparents and aunties and uncles and shit. They were babysitting me for like 6 years, and my parents got married. So after that point, I didn't really see a struggle. Like there was no struggle whatsoever. Like when we moved to Germany, we were just set. Like we were traveling all the time. We were just like, it was kind of like, it was fine. Like I got everything I wanted for Christmas, I got it. Yeah. But, at the same time, once I got older, I felt like, I started challenging a lot of things. I was like, why am I just sitting down playing video games? Why? In senior year, like I had this mental breakdown out of nowhere because I was like also smoking hella, and I got super high once, and I was just like, bro, what is going on? Like, why am I smoking all the fucking time, Right. So I talked to Daniel, and he was like, yo, give me a gym membership right now, or like help me get into the gym. So he was like, bet. Started going throughout senior year, 5 days a week after school, and I got to the point where I was like, well, I feel good. Like I'm focusing on something that it makes me look good. So exactly. So I was doing that, but still, like, I was always trying to figure out what I want. I was always challenging myself, so that's why I moved out. Right. I told my parents, I'm like, I'm just gonna move out. I have not asked my parents for anything for the past 2 years I've been out. Not a single thing. And I told myself, I was like, Mom, don't ask me if I need anything. She still asks me to this day because she worries about me, and I get it.
Instinct, right?
Yeah, and I'm just like, this is like I'm disciplining myself because I'm always challenging myself to the next thing. Right. Because I feel like I know when I'm in a ditch, or when I'm gonna be in a ditch, so I just try my best to stay out of it and move on to the next best thing that helps me grow.
Exactly.
So that shit is important. So now, no matter if you're from money or you came from nothing, honestly, just keep challenging yourself mentally, bro.
And it's always your decision.
Because you're always going to realize that, like, I hate this shit. So I'm going to move on to the next best thing.
Yeah. It's like whether you're rich or not, it's always your decision, regardless of whether you came from money or didn't. Like you said, like, you're the one, it's you. Like, it's always going to be you making your decision. No matter what you tell yourself, like, every decision you made was up to you type shit,
Do you ever see those people who are like 17, 18, but they're driving around in BMW i8s, GTRs, like expensive ass cars
all the time?
That shit is crazy, bro. I just look at them and be like, I think they kind of see like everybody else is regular, right? But like, you know, we look at them and envy them like, oh man, I wish I could be in that spot. I kind of look at it and be like, bro, I got to be there. Like I got to be at that point without
you
just
can't,
being.
that's the thing. You can't put like regular people on pedestals because in the end, everybody's regular. Everybody shits, everybody sleeps, everybody sneezes, everybody farts.
That's why I keep saying everybody has a chance.
Like
in America, bro.
Exactly.
Like everybody has a chance, no matter how much money you have.
Yeah, you might be in a better position because your dad was a politician or blah 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 blah. Like you might be in a better position than somebody else, but that doesn't mean that somebody else doesn't have even a sliver of a chance of getting to where you're at. Everybody has a chance. So like when I see like on like especially on Instagram and stuff like that, they really like feed it, blow it in your face, like young, rich, like social media influencers. It's really easy to get down on yourself. Be like, man, what the fuck? Like I'm 17 too. I'm not driving no I8 or I don't even have a car or whatever. It's easy to just get like, bro, these niggas are better than me or like I'm just not doing something right.
Yeah. Most people will say like these niggas are just better than me. Oh well, they're not gonna be like, oh man, I want to be here. What can I do to get here?
Exactly.
Yeah, like it's that simple.
Like you want to be able to see something like that and be like, just like you said, I want to be there. What can I do to be there? How can I better myself today so I'm closer to where I want to be instead of just dick riding this random dude on IG, liking all his pics. You know, it's like you looking at somebody living the exact life you want, but instead of building yourself to live that life, you are just liking and reposting all his shit, making him more rich. What are you doing? Why are you making another man rich before you make yourself rich? It's like, don't waste your time. Time is definitely of essence. Like you do not have a lot of time in life. Like everybody thinks when they're young, it's just like, oh, I could just do it tomorrow. I could just do it tomorrow. I could just do it. You can't do shit tomorrow. You could die tonight. At least if you die tonight, you knew you were trying to get to where you're at. But if you're just gonna be a bum, just die now, you know?
Yeah.
It's like
it's a waste of space, dude.
Yeah.
Which is why like when people complain about, oh, like I hate working and all that shit. Like I'm gonna be honest, dude, I used to hate working all the time. I still hate working, but I'm pushing through it. And I'm just like, I just have the goal in mind, bro.
Just some shit you want to do. Like
Yeah,
you know what the end goal is. You're not thinking of this like, I'm just going to be working for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You're thinking, I am working right now to set myself up in the future for my businesses, for what I want, what I really want to do in life.
Yeah.
Everybody in life has a time where they don't want to do some shit, but it separates the real from the phony if you really going to do that shit or not. Because I could just, man, fuck this job, man. I don't want to do this shit. I want to find something more fun. Yeah. It's fun for 3 months. Man, fuck this job.
Yeah. That's what most people do, bro. Like, that's what most people do, bro. And I'm just like, with my jobs currently, like, there'll be some times where it's shitty, but I know it's going to get cool.
Exactly.
Right? Because, like, right now, I'm just sleeping in the back of the warehouse for 8 hours a day, just getting paid $50 an hour. But then in the future, it might be like, oh, I'm just working constantly. And then I know I'm like, okay, it might get slow again. So, honestly, bro, it's just like whatever.
And we're young. Like, what else would we be doing right now if we weren't working?
Yeah, like I would think about it too. Like when I wake up before I go to work, I'm like, bro, if I call in right now, what I'd be doing? I'd probably sleep. I'd probably sleep and just lay around, sit around, watch TV. Like, dude, it's a waste of time.
I think about that same thing too.
So if you guys want a reason to go to work, just think about what you would be doing if you didn't go to work.
Exactly.
Nothing. Most likely nothing.
Yeah, I think about that too. I'd be like thinking like, damn, I'm about to lie and say I'm sick or some shit. And then I realize like from the times I've done it, what have I done? Laid in my bed, watched TikTok, got on the game for a couple hours, went back to sleep, and then it's time to. Then it'd be like time I got off. I was like, I could easily have just gone to work. You know, it's like your own. With the way I see it with work is like your desire to like get out of work and like stop working and I fucking hate this job perpetuates your suffering where you're at. Like if you're always thinking about how bad your situation is and how like it can't get better, whatever, it's going to be worse than it actually is. Like if I didn't really have too much money, but I always told myself I was broke and I'm poor, I'm going to feel like the brokest man in the world when there's definitely a nigga with less money than me. Yeah. Feel me? Like that's how I feel with everything. Like the more you dick on your situation, the worse it actually is. Like you're gonna mentally feel like everything's crumbling when it really could just be a little bit bad and you can easily dig yourself out, but you don't have a positive mindset. You feel me?
Yeah, because everybody has ups and downs, but you got to realize during your downs, it's not actually that bad.
Yeah,
you might feel like it. Like you might feel like your friends fucking hate you. You might feel like your parents don't want to talk to you. But honestly, it's just in your head, bro. And as soon as you overcome that, you can do anything, bro.
Yeah,
you gotta overcome that fact.
That's something like a lot of people need to like realize is like that's like a mental health thing. Like you can't get yourself in a rut and keep fucking shoveling dirt back on yourself. You know, you have to be able to be inside the hole and look up and see the sun, like, and try to climb out type shit. Like, you can't, like, exactly what you're saying, like, all my friends hate me, what did I do wrong, blah, 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 blah. Like, don't feed into a negative wheel, because, like, it's a wheel. You're just going to keep going round and round and round until it breaks and now you're out. You can break that wheel way faster if you just think positive. Like, positive thinking can get you a long way. And I'm a real believer of that shit.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from that, let's talk about your producing career. So how's that going? What got you into producing music? Like, why do you do it? I know you love music, so that's probably one reason.
So, yeah, music has gotten me through the toughest times of my life easily. I super started getting into music around like 6th or 7th grade. Like, you know, I was your average elementary school. You're like listening to Skrillex and shit while you're playing Minecraft, Hunger Games, you know, vibing on that shit. But then I started listening to like rap music more. And like one of the first artists I really found like to really like was Playboi Carti. This was back in like 2016 or 2017.
That was a good ass era.
Yeah, I started listening to Playboi Carti on SoundCloud, and I started diving deeper into like SoundCloud music, like Larry League, Black Cray, hella shit. I was just on SoundCloud all the time looking for new music. Craig Zan, all them niggas. Yeah,
Yeah, he fucks with Craig Zan.
I love those niggas. X, I was onto X a little earlier than most. I loved them. I loved listening to music, and I always had a sound of how I wanted something to sound in my head, but I never knew how to do it really, and I never really thought about even trying to do it until senior year. I met one of my best friends. His name is Kenny, at JRewind on Instagram. Dopest producer, taught me everything I know. Him and Michael, at Michael Descopins on Instagram. They taught me everything I know about making beats. He hit me to a crack version of FL Studio. I still never bought that
Everybody
shit.
was on that crack shit, bro.
Yeah, I still never bought FL Studio to this day. 2019, I started making beats. They were shitty as hell. But my friend Kenny, he was always telling me, like, bro, like, you think a beat is shitty, and then, like, you actually, that somebody wants to buy it, or somebody raps on it, and you're like, whoa, they're like, this shit is hard, whoa. So I just started making beats. I used to go on YouTube and watch this dude on Internet Money named Nick Mira. I used to watch him. He used to do like 10-minute cook-ups, like trap style type beat or R&B type beat, whatever. Watch that, gain some inspiration from that, how he puts the notes down, how he does his drums, all that shit. So I was on that heavy. I was making like Internet Money type beats heavy for a minute. Then I started making like, I feel like every producer does this, but you have like a Pierre Bourne stage where you're making like Pierre Bourne type beats. So I was doing that for a little bit.
Gold!
Yeah, I think he's got the sauce, so.
Cause like that's how it was. So like back then, niggas was actually on YouTube heavy, like looking up like free, like Pierre Bourne, Playboi Carti, et cetera type beat.
Exactly.
That was like a huge thing back then.
Yeah, so I started making beats like that. Then I was like, I can't really be making beats that is a type beat of another producer, because why would somebody buy my beat when they could just get it from Pierre type shit? You know, that's why I feel. And I've always had big aspirations. Like, I've never seen myself as somebody where it's like, oh, well, I can make a Pierre Bourne type beat for a nigga who can't afford a Pierre Bourne beat. Like, I want to make beats for rappers who could afford a Pierre Bourne beat. Like, they can afford me type shit. So I was like, I need to try and make my own sound. So I started with like FL keys, like just making melodies and sending them to my friends, and they would like do the drums on it because I sucked at the drums for a while. And then I got my first placement in 2020 with Kenny, with this rapper named Surf. His IG Surf Skirt. The first song I ever got on is called Just Like Her. It actually made it on his album too.
Oh, that's fire. Does he have like a decent audience?
Yeah, I think he's got like 200K on IG. Like he got hella people who listen to him. That's fire. Like, so my first placement was Just Like Her, and he actually made a YouTube video for it too. If you look up Surf Just Like Her on YouTube, it's the official music video. It's got 200K views on it. That's my first placement ever.
That's hard as fuck, yeah.
I was like, whoa, like, this beat shit kind of cool. And I've always loved music. Like I listen to music there's not a day goes by where I don't listen to music type shit. So I'm like, I might as well just keep making beats. And I just keep making beats now, and I just make beats. I made some beats for Channing. I never got it back, but I had this snippet with Lil Tecca and Pasto Flacco. I was making beats with their producers for a little bit, just me and them sending beats back, J6, Forever, like people like that. So I've just been doing it for a while. So now I'm just making beats and sending them out, hitting people up like, yo, I'll be giving them out for free most of the time just because I'm just trying to get my name out there type shit. So, you know, I just make beats. I cook up with other producers a lot. Yeah, so I just be doing that. It's a lot of fun. It's daunting at first when you're looking at the program because everything is hella weird. Like you got to get your own sound kits and shit like that, and like you think you have to pay for everything because all the plugins. You're like, oh, if I want this sound, I need to get
but
this
there's
plugin.
always a way around.
There's always a way around it. Like you just go on Reddit r/drum kits. You go over there, type in any type of drum kit you want. You want like a Southside type drums. Boom, you got it. Richie Soof got it. Everything is there. Like. So yeah, I've always taken the free route. I've never bought shit for FL. Never bought a plugin. Crack all my plugins, all that shit. So yeah.
So you're still looking for your sound when it comes to being a producer?
So like,
you still experimenting?
I'm experimenting still. Really, like I have if I were to play like my beats, like you would never get like one vibe from it because I like a bunch of different types of music. Like I like emo rap. I love Lil Peep, love Tracy. So I would like try to make like emo rap type beats. Then I love Playboi Carti. That's my favorite artist of all time. I'll try to make a Playboi Carti type, like something he would rap on. I love Uzi. I'll try to make something he would rap on. And then I like niggas like Joey Badass. Like that's one of my favorite artists too. I'll try to make a beat like him or something that he would rap on. I like Tyler the Creator. I'll try to make something he rap on. So I try not to like put myself in a box so that I can always try and make beats that any type of rapper I would dream of working with could rap on this, you know. So yeah, that's what I be doing.
So you're doing a lot of collab stuff too?
Yeah, homies. I make a lot of beats with my friend Michael. He helps me a lot because a lot of the times we get in the Discord, we share screens and we like bouncing off each other on beats ideas, and like I'd be like, damn, like my shit sucks. Then he'll like be like, bro, it does not suck. Send me the flip. I send him the flip. He cooks some shit off of it, and then it sounds fire. And I'm like, damn, like that's a collab. Like me and you made that type of shit, and it like helps me with my mental because like a lot of the times I'm like I dick on myself a lot, like because I'm like there's so many niggas who are better than me, but that's just the mindset I have to get myself out of. It's just like you see all these producers like the beats they make for like Yeet and stuff like Baniacs, like all them niggas, they're so tough. I'm synthetic.
It just comes with the wave, bro. Yeah. Like waves come and go, and when new waves come in, then you'll step into that spot.
Exactly, and that's what me and him and Kenny have been trying to do for a while. We're trying to create a sound for Boston because right now Boston sound is just like a ghetto New York sound. Like everybody, like one thing I don't really like, and my friend Earl always says this. Shout out Earl Tucker. He always says like niggas from Boston always try to act like they don't want to be from Boston. Like they'd rather be from New York or something. They like dick ride the whole drill thing and all the dance moves and shit. Like we don't really have our own shit. Like, and we're like what we've been trying to do is create a sound that other people can fuck with because New York has drill, Cali has that like Cali sound, you know, you got Louisiana rappers like Boozy and shit like that. So it's like everybody, I feel like every big city got their sound, but Boston doesn't yet. Cause like, who did we have? We have Cousin Stiz, but like, I don't really like his music.
He's from Boston?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. I don't really like his music. So.
Yeah. I don't think anybody fucks with it anymore,
yeah,
but still.
And then like, there was Jerry Perp Drank. Like that nigga was making music for a little bit. I don't know if he still does or not. There was one song I really liked by him, but like there's not really a sound for Boston, and like we've been trying to find that, and like we had that with Surf for a little bit, but then he started working with too many like different producers, and they're all kind of like Kenny, like they all jack his sound because Kenny was like one of the first producers working with him, and they all just jack his sound. So he just has a bunch of kids in the scene, like they just making the same sound as him. So like we've been trying to make our own sounds. Like it's something that takes a really long time though. Like because when you look at it, like New York music and New Jersey music, like they damn near sound the same. Like and Jersey started it first, but New York just blew it up. It's like trying to find a new sound is really rough. Like, and it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of air because a lot of time niggas don't fuck with it.
Yeah.
Until somebody big gets on a beat like that, and then it's like, oh, this shit is raw. Blah, 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 blah. So it's like it takes time, but I enjoy the process because like I make hella beats that I really enjoy to like making and listening to that somebody might never rap on, but I like the beat myself. I might put it as background music and something kind of like that beat you got for your intro.
For the intro.
It's like some shit like I don't know if somebody might rap on that, but like I love the beat. I like just listening to it even without words on it, so it's cool.
So what I think, you know me, you like 100 gigs, right?
Yeah.
I fuck with 100 gigs
Oh
heavy.
yeah.
When it comes to Hyperpop, bro, I think that's the next wave. I've been saying this for like a year now, like Hyperpop, like 100 gigs type shit, bro. That is the next wave. Not because like, you know, it sounds good, but because it's kind of integrating with the society we got now.
So
like type of music.
The way I feel about Hyperpop is that wave actually already came and went. 2020, there's like this rapper. She was going by Parker and then Osquin, and there's Dollywood, there's Glaive, there's a lot of those rap Curtains, like they make a whole that was original Hyperpop, and then rappers like Uzi made and Ken Carson, they use their own type of Hyperpop, and that's kind of what blew up, but it's already kind of like dying because it's like a really like rinse and repeat sound. But like if you listen to like original Hyperpop, like y'all, if y'all look up Dollywood 1 on SoundCloud and just listen to some of their songs, that's like that was like real Hyperpop back in like when that shit was blowing up. Like that shit is a whole different sound I've never heard before, but it didn't blow up because it doesn't have a mainstream appeal, kind of like 100 Gex. Like 100 Gex is like you'll meet 99 people who don't like 100 Gex before you meet one person who does. And that one person who does loves 100 Gex. And that's the way I feel about that OG Hyperpop sound, where it was like, you'll meet 99 people that are like, this just sounds like noise, before you find somebody that's like, this shit is so hard. But it's just a process with everything, you know? Like, people just got to catch on to shit.
And when it comes to that, too, like, you have to integrate that sound with the current sound to make it appeal to the mainstream audience.
But at the same time, you don't really have to.
You don't have to, but it might take some time before it starts catching ears.
Because think about, like, Kanye, 808s and Heartbreaks. Nobody was really jacking 808s and songs like that until that album, and it's like at the time it was like, yeah, this album's okay, but like I saw that album's revolutionary now. Same thing with Yeezus. Think of the sounds you heard on that Yeezus album where it just sounded like fucking noise, and now you have synths and basses that all sound like that in Yeet songs and shit like that. Like that shit just like it takes its time, but like you can really grandfather a sound.
Yeah.
Like you made that shit. And I think that shit is dope. That's one of my dreams. Like I have aspirations of like working with certain rappers like Future or Playboy Cardi and shit like that. But one of my biggest aspirations in music is to make my own sound. Like niggas like like a Metro Boomin type sound, Pierre's type sound. That's what I want. Like somebody who's like a Rony type sound. You know, you feel me? That would be dope to me because like seeing that people thought my sound was so good they tried to replicate it is like the best thing ever to me.
So when it comes, I want to add this in your tag.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
That's actually Muscle Man.
Damn, man, bro. I get my Ronnie boy a call.
It's actually a Muscle Man clip from a regular show. So I was just watching the show one day. I was just eating some cereal, watching the show, and like I heard it, and I was like, "Whoa, that shit!" I was like, "That shit kind of sound raw before my beats." Like, so I was like, "Let me get the clip." I got the clip, and I just been jacking it. I don't put it in every song because sometimes it doesn't fit. Yeah. I feel like it's a little long.
That's what I feel like too. Like with most tags nowadays, they're like short and sweet.
Yeah, you know so I mean? I'm probably gonna change it up in a little bit.
Yeah,
but yeah, I like that tag. I mean, I'm Rony Jr., so I wanted to like some Ronnie J shit, but like Ronnie J already exists. So I was like, fuck, I should have started producing earlier. Yeah, but yeah, that's it, bro.
That's fire. So anything else you want to talk about, big bro?
Start today.
I've been saying this nigga. I didn't tell him to say this.
Yeah, nah.
He just said it.
One thing I hate to see is wasted potential because somebody took too long to start something.
Nigga, you're gonna wake up one day and be 30. Think about that.
So, like, I just turned 20, so it's like I'm young, but I even feel like time is catching up to me. Like, I gotta stop bullshitting, really start doing my shit. And if I had the motivation I had right now at 18, I would be in a completely different spot.
I was saying the same thing too. Like, if COVID didn't hold me back, if I wasn't like in my head a lot, I would be in a completely different, like a bigger spot than I am now. But that's cool, bro.
Everything happens for a reason at the same time. So like, you're feeling some type of way, it's cool, but just make sure you get out of that and like get in your bag for, like, it sounds corny, but you really have to get in your bag, lock yourself in your room, do what you got to do to really get to where you want to be. Because the worst thing I think would be like you're 37 and you're thinking about what you could have done with your time when you were in your 20s or your
try everything, bro. If you got like multiple things you want to do too, just try everything.
No successful businessman was a hit off their first business.
Yeah,
I can tell you that much. So if you want to start a business, be prepared to fail multiple times before you hit the gold. You want to make music, be prepared to fail many times before you have your first song that hit 100K, 10K, million. You want to be a producer, be prepared to make shitty beats for months or even a year before you start making some shit people like. It's all a process. Everything you accelerate to 100. You don't start at 100.
Real.
So, yeah.
Dig that shit down.
Yeah.
I wanted to use that. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Ronnie, thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, bro.
Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're on YouTube, and if you're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, don't forget to leave a rating and subscribe to the Ko-Fi page. Got some exclusive content on there. More coming soon. Anyways, y'all, have a good day or night, nigga. I don't know, but yeah, peace. Voice to Men Podcast is a production of Preme Media. Editing by Jaden Ford. Music produced by Rony Rewind, MGMT, and Mikhail Descopins. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Boys to Men Pod. And subscribe to our YouTube channel found in the show description.